There is something sitting just beneath the surface of your life right now, Scorpio. Something you have felt but maybe refused to name. 3 outcomes are forming around you at this very moment, and one of them, just one, carries the kind of liberation that could redefine your entire existence. But here is what most people will never tell you. Choosing wisely is not about luck. It is not about waiting for the stars to perfectly align. It is about understanding what each path actually demands from you, and then having the courage to walk toward the one that frightens you the most. Because liberation does not arrive quietly. It does not tap you on the shoulder and politely introduce itself. It comes disguised as disruption, as discomfort, as the very thing you have been avoiding. And if you are watching this right now, there is a reason. Something inside you already knows that the old way of moving through the world is no longer sustainable. You feel it in the mornings when you wake up and sense that familiar weight pressing down on your chest. You feel it in conversations that used to energize you but now leave you drained. You feel it in the silence when you are alone and your mind starts replaying every decision you wish you had made differently. This is not despair, Scorpio. This is the beginning. This is what it feels like right before everything changes. But change is not automatic. You have to meet it halfway. And the next few minutes are going to show you exactly how to do that step by step, in a way that honors who you are and who you are becoming. Stay with me, because what comes next could be the most important message you hear all year. Tip 1. The weight you carry is not yours to keep. Scorpio, let me ask you something that might sting a little. How much of the heaviness you feel right now actually belongs to you? I mean, truly belongs to you, because there is a pattern that runs deep in your nature, and it goes something like this. Someone you care about is struggling, and before you even realize what is happening, you have absorbed their pain like a sponge dropped into water. You take it in. You hold it. You process it as if it were your own burden to bear. And over time, you forget where their suffering ends and yours begins. This is not weakness. In fact, it is one of your greatest strengths turned inside out. Your ability to feel deeply, to sense what others cannot even articulate. That is a rare and powerful gift. But somewhere along the way, you confused empathy with obligation. You started believing that feeling someone else's pain meant you were responsible for fixing it. And that belief, Scorpio, that is the chain that has been holding you in place. Think about the last time you felt genuinely light. Not distracted, not busy, not numbed out by routine, but actually light, free, unburdened. For many of you, that memory is distant. It might even feel like it belongs to a different person, someone you used to be before life layered all of this weight onto your shoulders. But here is the truth that changes everything. Most of that weight was never yours. It was handed to you by people who did not know how to carry it themselves. It was placed on you by situations that demanded more than any one person should give. And you accepted it because that is what you do. You show up. You endure. You carry. But endurance without boundaries is not strength. It is slow erosion. It is the gradual wearing down of everything that makes you who you are. And the first outcome sitting in front of you right now, the one that leads nowhere good, is the path where you keep carrying everything for everyone without ever asking yourself what you actually need. That path feels noble, feels familiar, but it leads to exhaustion so deep that even your bones ache with it. I have seen this happen to Scorpios over and over again. They give and give and give until there is nothing left, and then they wonder why they feel so hollow inside. The liberation path, the one you are here to find, starts with a radical act of honesty. It starts with looking at every burden you carry and asking one simple question. Is this mine? Not whether you can handle it. You can handle almost anything, and that is part of the problem. The question is whether it belongs to you, whether it is your responsibility, whether carrying it is actually helping anyone, including yourself. Because most of the time, when you carry someone else's weight, you are not saving them. You are just preventing them from learning how to stand on their own. And you are breaking yourself in the process. This week, I want you to try something. Every time you feel that familiar heaviness settle onto your chest, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, whose pain is this? If the answer is not yours, set it down. Not with anger, not with resentment, but with the quiet understanding that you deserve to travel light. You have earned the right to move through this world without dragging everyone else's baggage behind you. And the moment you start releasing what is not yours, you will feel something you have not felt in a long time. Space, room to breathe, room to think. Room to finally hear what your own heart has been trying to tell you. Tip 2. The conversation you keep avoiding is the door you need to walk through. There is a conversation you have been rehearsing in your mind for weeks, maybe months, possibly even years. You know exactly which one I am talking about, Scorpio. You have played it out 100 different ways. You have imagined every possible response, every reaction, every worst-case scenario. And each time you get close to actually having it, something pulls you back. Fear maybe, or the belief that the timing is not right, or the quiet voice that whispers, "What if saying the truth out loud destroys everything?" But here is what that voice never tells you. The silence is already destroying everything. Slowly, quietly, from the inside out. Every word you swallow becomes a brick in the wall between you and the people you care about. Every truth you hold back adds another layer of distance. And over time, that distance becomes so vast that you cannot even remember what closeness feels like. You are standing in a room full of people, and you feel completely alone. Not because they do not care, but because they do not know you. They know the version of you that smiles and says everything is fine. They know the version that keeps the peace at any cost. But they do not know the real you, the one who is exhausted from pretending. This is one of the 3 outcomes forming right now, and it is the most dangerous one because it looks like safety. It looks like you are being careful, being thoughtful, being considerate of other people's feelings. But what you are really doing is choosing comfort over connection. You are choosing the familiar ache of silence over the temporary discomfort of honesty. And every day you make that choice, the gap between who you are and who you show the world grows wider. The conversation you are avoiding is not going to be easy. I am not going to stand here and tell you that everything will go perfectly, that the other person will respond exactly the way you want, that there will be no fallout. There might be, there probably will be, but the fallout from truth is temporary. The fallout from silence is permanent. When you hold back what needs to be said, you do not just lose the relationship. You lose yourself. You become a stranger in your own life, playing a role that no longer fits, wearing a mask that has grown so tight it hurts to breathe. Scorpio, you were not built for surface-level existence. You were not designed to float through life making small talk and avoiding anything real. You are wired for depth, for intensity, for the kind of raw, honest connection that most people are terrified of. But you cannot have that connection if you are hiding. You cannot reach someone's heart if you will not show them yours. And right now, there is someone in your life who needs to hear what you have been holding back. Not because it will be comfortable, but because it will be true. And truth, even when it shakes the ground beneath you, is always the foundation of something stronger. So here is what I am going to challenge you to do. Pick one conversation. Just one. The one that makes your stomach tighten when you think about it. And commit to having it before this week ends. You do not need to have all the right words. You do not need a perfect script. You just need to be honest. Start with how you feel. Start with what you need. Start with the truth you have been swallowing for far too long. And watch what happens when you finally let it out. The relief alone will show you that you have been carrying something far heavier than the conversation itself. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. Your intuition has been screaming, and you have been covering your ears. Something has been trying to get your attention, Scorpio. Not from the outside, not from another person, not from some sign written in the sky, but from deep within your own body. Call it intuition, call it gut feeling, call it whatever you want. The name does not matter. What matters is that you have been ignoring it, and that decision is costing you more than you realize. You know the feeling I am talking about, that subtle tightening in your chest when something is off, that quiet unease that settles in your stomach when you are about to make a decision that goes against your deeper knowing, that voice in the back of your mind that whispers, "This is not right," even when everything on the surface looks perfectly fine. You have felt it in relationships that looked good on paper but felt hollow in your heart. You have felt it in opportunities that seemed promising but carried an energy you could not quite name. You have felt it in moments when everyone around you was celebrating, and you could not shake the feeling that something was wrong. And what did you do with that feeling? Most of the time you pushed it down. You rationalized it away. You told yourself you were being paranoid, overthinking, reading too much into things. You let logic override your knowing because logic feels safer. Logic can be explained. Logic can be defended. But your intuition operates on a frequency that logic cannot reach. It processes information that your conscious mind has not caught up to yet. Sees patterns that your eyes miss. It knows things before there is any evidence to support them. This is not mystical nonsense. This is how you are wired, Scorpio. You have a depth of perception that most people cannot even comprehend. You pick up on shifts in energy the way some people pick up on changes in weather. You sense dishonesty before the first lie is even fully formed. You feel tension in a room before anyone has said a word. This is your superpower. But it only works if you trust it. And lately you have not been trusting it. You have been second-guessing yourself, deferring to other people's opinions, letting external noise drown out your internal compass. And every time you do that, you end up somewhere you do not want to be, wondering how you got there when the signs were so clear all along. The signs were clear because you saw them. You just chose not to act on what you saw. And that is the pattern that needs to break right now. Not next month, not when you feel more confident, not when you have more evidence. Right now. Because the longer you ignore your intuition, the quieter it gets. Not because it stops speaking, but because you train yourself not to listen. And a Scorpio who has lost touch with their intuition is like a bird that has forgotten it has wings. You can still walk through life, but you were meant to soar. Starting today, I want you to rebuild that trust. When you feel that tug in your gut, do not immediately try to explain it away. Sit with it. Let it speak. Ask it what it is trying to tell you. You do not have to act on every feeling immediately, but you do need to stop dismissing them. Write them down if that helps. Keep a record of the moments when your intuition spoke, and you listened versus the moments when you ignored it. Within a matter of weeks, you will have undeniable proof that your inner knowing is far more reliable than any external advice you have ever received. And once you see that proof, something shifts. You stop looking outside yourself for answers. You stop asking everyone else what you should do. You start moving with a quiet certainty that cannot be shaken, because it comes from the deepest part of who you are. Tip 4. The person you were last year cannot survive where you are going. There is a version of you that needs to be released, Scorpio. I know that sounds harsh. I know it sounds like I am asking you to abandon yourself, but that is not what this is. This is not about abandonment. This is about evolution. And evolution, by its very nature, requires you to leave behind what no longer serves the person you are becoming. Think about a snake shedding its skin. It does not mourn the old layer. It does not try to drag it along or stuff it into a bag for safekeeping. It releases it completely and moves forward with fresh, new armor that fits the body it has grown into. That is what this moment is asking of you. Not to forget who you were, but to stop trying to fit into a version of yourself that you have already outgrown. You have been feeling this tension for a while now. The things that used to excite you feel flat. The routines that once brought comfort now feel like cages. The relationships that used to nourish you feel like they are holding you back, not because the people are bad, but because you are different now. You see the world through new eyes, and the old landscape does not match the new vision. This is not a crisis. This is not something breaking. This is something being born. And birth is never comfortable. The mistake most Scorpios make at this stage is trying to hold on to everything, while also trying to move forward. You want the new life, but you do not want to let go of the old one. You want to grow, but you do not want anything to change. And that contradiction creates a kind of paralysis that keeps you stuck in the space between who you were and who you are meant to be. You are not here. You are not there. You are floating in the uncomfortable middle, and it is driving you slowly out of your mind. Let me be direct with you. You cannot take everything with you. Some habits will need to be dropped. Some patterns will need to be broken. Some people, and this is the hardest part, will need to be loved from a distance. Not because they are bad for you, but because the dynamic you share with them belongs to a chapter that is ending. And if you try to force that dynamic into the next chapter, it will warp everything around it. The story will not flow. The energy will not align. And you will find yourself constantly pulled backward into old ways of being that no longer fit. The version of you that survived last year did an incredible job. Honor that. Acknowledge the strength it took to get through everything you faced. But also recognize that survival mode is not a permanent address. It was a temporary shelter, and you do not need it anymore. The storms that required that level of protection have passed. What stands before you now requires something different. It requires openness, vulnerability, willingness to be seen in your fullest, most authentic form. And the old armor, as reliable as it was, is too heavy for where you are going. It will slow you down. It will block the very things you are trying to let in. It is time to set it down and trust that you are strong enough without it. Tip 5. What you call loyalty, the universe calls self-sabotage. This one is going to challenge you, Scorpio, and I need you to hear it with an open mind. Because I know how deeply loyalty runs in your blood. I know that once you commit to someone, once you decide that a person or a situation is yours, you hold on with everything you have. You defend it. You protect it. You fight for it even when it stops fighting for you. And in your mind, that is love. That is honor. That is what it means to be devoted. But I need you to consider the possibility that what you are calling loyalty is actually fear wearing a noble disguise. Because there is a difference between staying because something is still growing and staying because you are terrified of what happens if you let go. There is a difference between commitment and captivity. And right now, Scorpio, some of you are sitting in a prison of your own making, calling it a palace, because admitting the truth would mean everything you sacrificed was for nothing. That is the real fear, is it not? Not that the thing will end, but that ending it means all the time and energy and emotion you invested was wasted. You stayed through the hard times. You forgave things that most people would never forgive. You bent yourself into shapes that did not fit just to make it work. And if you walk away now, what was the point? What was it all for? Here is what it was for, Scorpio. It was for the lesson. It was for the growth. It was for the understanding of what you actually need versus what you were willing to settle for. Nothing you experienced was wasted, even if it did not lead where you thought it would. Every moment of pain taught you something about your own boundaries. Every disappointment revealed something about your standards. Every heartbreak showed you what your heart actually requires to thrive. Those are not wasted investments. Those are the tuition payments for the wisdom you now carry. But wisdom without action is just trivia. If you know that something is no longer serving you, if you feel it in your bones every single day, and you still refuse to move because of some misplaced sense of duty, then you are not being loyal. You are being afraid. And fear dressed up as loyalty is one of the most dangerous things a Scorpio can carry, because no one will ever challenge it. The world rewards loyalty. People praise you for sticking it out, for being the one who never gives up, for being the rock that everyone can depend on. And that praise becomes a trap. It makes you believe that your worth is tied to your willingness to endure, that the more you suffer, the more valuable you are. That is a lie. Your worth is not measured by how much pain you can tolerate. Your worth is inherent. It exists whether you stay or go, whether you hold on or let go, whether you endure or choose peace. And right now, peace is calling you. It is not calling you to blow everything up without thought. It is not calling you to act rashly or burn bridges out of frustration. It is calling you to sit quietly with yourself and ask, if I remove the fear and the guilt and the obligation, would I still choose this? If the answer is yes, then stay with renewed intention. But if the answer is no, Scorpio, then your loyalty belongs somewhere else. It belongs to yourself. Tip 6. The rest you refuse to take is the medicine you desperately need. When was the last time you truly rested, Scorpio? And I do not mean collapsed on the couch after being so exhausted that your body simply gave out. I do not mean scrolling through your phone in bed while your mind races through tomorrow's problems. I mean genuine, intentional, guilt-free rest. The kind where you close your eyes and actually feel safe enough to let go. The kind where your nervous system downshifts from high alert to something softer, something slower, something that allows your body to actually repair itself. If you cannot remember the last time that happened, you are not alone. But you are in danger. And not the dramatic, headline-grabbing kind of danger. The quiet kind. The kind that creeps up so gradually you do not notice it until the damage is already done. Your body has been sending you signals for a while now. The headaches that come from nowhere. The tension in your jaw that you clench without realizing. The sleep that comes in fragments instead of waves. The fatigue that no amount of coffee can touch. These are not random inconveniences, Scorpio. These are warning lights on a dashboard you have been ignoring. You have built your identity around being strong, around being capable, around being the one who handles everything while everyone else falls apart. And there is power in that, real power. But power without rest is a fire without fuel. Eventually it burns out. And a burned out Scorpio is one of the saddest things in the world, because the light that usually burns so bright inside you dims to almost nothing. The passion fades. The drive disappears. The intensity that makes you who you are gets replaced by a flat, gray numbness that scares you more than any crisis ever could. You are afraid to rest because rest feels like weakness. It feels like letting your guard down in a world that has taught you, over and over again, that the moment you relax, something terrible happens. You have been conditioned to stay alert, to stay ready, to keep one eye open at all times. And that conditioning served you once. There was a time when that vigilance kept you safe, when staying on guard was genuinely necessary for your survival. But that time has passed, and the alarm system that protected you is now the thing destroying you. Your body is not your enemy. It is your most loyal ally. It has carried you through everything, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every season of chaos, and it has never once complained. But it is tired, Scorpio. It is so tired. And it needs you to stop treating it like a machine and start treating it like the living, breathing, feeling thing that it is. It needs water and sunlight and nourishing food, yes. But more than anything, it needs permission to stop. Permission to be still. Permission to exist without producing, without achieving, without proving its worth through constant motion. I want you to do something radical this week. I want you to carve out 1 hour, just one, where you do absolutely nothing productive. No work, no planning, no problem solving, no catching up on things you have been putting off. Just stillness. Sit outside if you can. Feel the air on your skin. Listen to the sounds around you without analyzing them. Let your thoughts come and go without chasing any of them. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will scream at you that you are wasting time, that there are things that need to be done, that you cannot afford to stop. Let it scream, and then let it quiet, because underneath all that noise is something you have not heard in a very long time. Your own heartbeat. Steady, strong, still here, still going, still fighting for you even when you refuse to fight for it. Tip 7. You are not difficult to love. You are just surrounded by people who love easily. Scorpio, I know you have heard it before. Too intense, too much, too complicated, too deep, too demanding. You have heard those words from people who claim to care about you, and each time a small part of you believed them. Each time you filed it away as evidence that something about you is fundamentally broken, that the depth of your feelings is a flaw, that the intensity of your presence is a burden, that loving you is a task rather than a gift. I need you to hear me clearly on this. That is not true. It has never been true. And the fact that you have spent years believing it is one of the greatest tragedies of your story so far. You are not too much. You are exactly the right amount. The problem has never been your depth. The problem has been the shallow waters you keep trying to swim in. When someone tells you that you are too intense, what they are really saying is that they do not have the capacity to meet you where you are. When someone says you are too complicated, what they actually mean is that they prefer simple, and simple is not what you are. When someone says you demand too much, what they are confessing is that they have too little to give. These are not reflections of your worth, Scorpio. These are reflections of their limitations. And you have been punishing yourself for other people's inability to show up. Think about what you actually offer when you love someone. You do not love halfway. You do not hold back. You give your attention, your energy, your time, your loyalty, your fierce and unwavering devotion. You remember the small things. You notice the shifts in mood that no one else catches. You show up at 3 in the morning when the world falls apart. You fight battles that are not yours because someone you love is under fire. That is not being difficult. That is being extraordinary. And if the people around you cannot see that, the problem is with their vision, not your value. But here is where it gets complicated, and I need you to be honest with yourself. Because while it is true that you are not too much, it is also true that you sometimes choose people who are too little. You are drawn to potential. You see who someone could be, and you fall in love with that future version, that best version, that version that only exists in your imagination. And then you spend months or years trying to pull that version out of them, pouring your energy into a project disguised as a partnership. And when they fail to become what you saw in them, you blame yourself. You think if you had just loved harder, tried more, given more of yourself, it would have worked. It would not have worked, because you cannot grow someone else's capacity for them. You cannot expand a heart that has chosen to stay small. You cannot teach depth to someone who is committed to the surface. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop wasting your love on people who cannot hold it, the sooner you make room for the ones who can. The right people for you are out there, Scorpio. They exist. They are the ones who will not flinch when you show your darkness. They are the ones who will meet your intensity with their own. They are the ones who will not ask you to be less but will inspire you to be more. You have just not found them yet because you have been too busy trying to make the wrong people fit. Stop trying. Let them go. And watch how quickly the right ones appear when there is finally space for them to land. Tip 8. Forgiveness is not about them. It is about reclaiming your power. There is a name sitting in the back of your mind right now, Scorpio. A name attached to a memory that still makes your jaw clench and your heart rate spike. Someone who hurt you in a way that changed something fundamental about how you move through the world. Maybe they betrayed your trust. Maybe they abandoned you when you needed them most. Maybe they said words so cutting that they left scars no one else can see. Whatever they did, it lives inside you still. Not as a memory, but as an active wound. It breathes. It pulses. It colors every new relationship and every vulnerable moment with the shadow of what happened before. And you have held on to that pain with both hands because letting go feels like letting them off the hook. Forgiveness in your mind equals excusing what they did. Means saying it was okay. It means pretending it did not happen or that it did not matter. And nothing about what they did was okay. It mattered. Changed you. And you will not dishonor that truth by pretending otherwise. I understand that, Scorpio. I truly do. But I need you to consider a different definition of forgiveness, one that has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to the person who hurt you. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is not about saying what happened was acceptable. It is about refusing to let what happened continue to control your present. It is about looking at the chain that connects you to that person, that event, that moment of betrayal, and choosing to break it. Not for their sake, but for yours. Because here is what unforgiveness actually does to a Scorpio. It becomes an identity. The pain becomes so familiar that you do not know who you are without it. The anger becomes fuel for your drive, your ambition, your determination to never be that vulnerable again. And for a while that works. The fire of resentment burns hot enough to propel you forward. But eventually, that fire starts consuming the things you care about. It burns through trust, making it impossible to let anyone close. It burns through joy, because every happy moment gets filtered through the lens of past pain. It burns through peace, because you cannot rest when part of you is constantly replaying what happened, looking for clues you missed, rehearsing what you should have said. You are not holding on to the pain. The pain is holding on to you, and it has been doing so for long enough. I am not asking you to forget. A Scorpio never forgets, and honestly, you should not. Those memories are data. They taught you what to watch for, what to protect, what to never accept again. Keep the lesson, but release the charge. Release the emotional voltage that fires up every time that name crosses your mind. Release the fantasy of revenge, the imagined conversation where you finally say everything you never got to say, the hope that one day they will understand exactly how much damage they caused. They might never understand, and that has to be okay, because your freedom cannot depend on someone else's awareness. Your healing cannot be held hostage by someone else's growth. You have to take your power back, Scorpio, and the only way to do that is to stop giving it to the person who hurt you every time you replay the wound. Decide today that the story ends. Not the memory, the story. The narrative you have been telling yourself about how that moment defined you. You are more than what happened to you. You always have been. And it is time the rest of your life reflected that truth. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Tip 9. The thing you think you lost was actually cleared to make room. Scorpio, I know you have been grieving something. Maybe it is a relationship that ended. Maybe it is a job that fell through. Maybe it is a version of your future that you had mapped out so carefully in your mind. Every detail accounted for, every milestone planned, only to watch it dissolve like smoke between your fingers. Whatever it is, the loss feels heavy, feels unfair, feels like something was taken from you that you deserve to keep. And you are right in a way. You did put in the work. You did show up. You did give more than most people would have given in the same situation. But here is the part that is going to be hard to hear, and I need you to sit with it before you push it away. What you lost was not meant to stay. It served its purpose, and its purpose was not to be permanent. Its purpose was to prepare you for what comes next. I know that sounds like a hollow comfort right now. When you are in the middle of grief, being told that something better is coming feels dismissive, like someone telling you not to cry at a funeral. But I am not telling you not to grieve. Grieve fully. Feel every ounce of that loss. Honor what it meant to you. But while you are grieving, I need you to keep one eye on the horizon, because something is already forming there. Something you cannot see yet from where you are standing, but something that is undeniably real. The universe does not take from Scorpio without replacing it with something of greater value. That is not wishful thinking. That is the consistent pattern of your life. Think back to the last time something was taken from you that you thought you could not survive losing. Think about what came after. Not immediately after, because the space between loss and gain is where faith is tested, but eventually, something arrived that made you understand why the other thing had to leave. Something that fit better. Something that served you more deeply. Something that aligned with the person you had become rather than the person you used to be. That pattern is repeating right now. The clearing that happened in your life was not random destruction. It was intentional preparation. The relationship that ended created space for a connection that will actually meet your depth. The opportunity that fell through opened a lane for something that aligns more closely with your true calling. The plan that dissolved was replaced by a possibility so much greater that your old plan would have actually blocked it from arriving. But here is the key, Scorpio, and this is where most people miss it. The new thing cannot enter if you are still filling the space with grief, resentment, and the constant replaying of what went wrong. You have to create genuine emptiness. Not avoidance, not distraction, not pretending you do not care, but real, honest, spacious emptiness. The kind that comes from fully processing the loss, releasing it with gratitude for what it taught you, and then standing in the open space with your hands unclenched and your heart unguarded, ready to receive. That is terrifying for you. Open spaces feel dangerous. Empty hands feel vulnerable. An unguarded heart feels like an invitation for more pain. But Scorpio, listen to me carefully. What you have been calling vulnerability is actually the doorway to everything you have been praying for. The walls you built to keep out pain are the same walls keeping out love, joy, abundance, and every beautiful thing that is trying to reach you right now. You do not need higher walls. You need the courage to take them down. And the loss you are grieving right now, painful as it is, just removed one of them for you. The question is whether you will rebuild it or walk through the opening it created. I am asking you with everything I have to walk through. Tip 10. Your transformation is not coming, it is already here. Scorpio, stop waiting. I need you to hear that clearly because I know how you operate. You prepare. You plan. You strategize. You wait for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, the cosmic green light that tells you it is finally safe to become the person you know you are meant to be. You tell yourself that transformation is around the corner, that next month will be different, that once this situation resolves or that person changes or this obstacle clears, then you will finally step into your power. But the moment you are waiting for already arrived. It arrived quietly, without fanfare, without a spotlight, without the dramatic entrance you were expecting. It showed up in the small decisions you have been making over the past several weeks. The moments when you chose honesty over comfort. The times when you set a boundary that felt terrifying but necessary. The mornings when you woke up and felt something stirring inside you that was different from the day before. Something sharper, something clearer, something that felt suspiciously like purpose. You have been transforming this entire time. You just did not recognize it because it did not look the way you imagined it would. You were expecting lightning and thunder. You were expecting some massive, unmistakable moment where everything clicked into place, and you suddenly became a different person. But that is not how real transformation works. Real transformation is subtle. It is gradual. It is the accumulation of 1,000 tiny choices that redirect the course of your life by degrees so small they are invisible in the moment but undeniable in hindsight. Look at yourself compared to who you were 6 months ago. Look at what you tolerate now versus what you used to accept without question. Look at how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you respond to situations that would have destroyed you before. Something has shifted, Scorpio. Something fundamental. And you owe it to yourself to acknowledge that shift instead of dismissing it because it was not dramatic enough. The third outcome, the one I mentioned at the beginning, the one that carries true liberation. It is not a future event. It is a present reality. Liberation is not some distant destination you have to journey toward. It is a choice you make right now, in this moment, to stop waiting for permission to be who you already are. It is the decision to stop shrinking yourself to fit spaces that were never meant for you. It is the commitment to living at full volume, full depth, full intensity, without apology, without hesitation, without the constant, exhausting need to justify your existence to people who will never understand you anyway. You have spent too long asking the world for permission. Permission to feel deeply. Permission to want more. Permission to take up space. Permission to be powerful. And the world has been giving you the same answer it always gives to that question: silence. Not because you do not deserve those things, but because permission was never the world's to give. It was always yours. It has always been yours. And the moment you stop asking and start claiming everything, and I mean everything, changes. This is the liberation that has been hovering around your energy for weeks now. It is not asking you to become someone new. It is asking you to finally become yourself. Fully, unapologetically, fiercely yourself. The version that does not dim their light because it makes other people uncomfortable. The version that does not apologize for wanting depth in a world obsessed with shallow. The version that walks into a room and changes the energy without saying a single word. That version is not some fantasy, Scorpio. That version is you. Right now. Today. Already here. Already breathing. Already waiting for you to stop denying it and start living it. Everything I have shared with you today has been building to this single point. The weight you release, the conversations you finally have, the intuition you trust, the old self you shed, the false loyalty you drop, the rest you allow, the love you accept, the forgiveness you grant, the loss you release, the transformation you claim. All of it leads here. To this moment. To this choice. To this version of you standing at the edge of something extraordinary and deciding, once and for all, that you are ready. 3 outcomes are in front of you, Scorpio. 1 keeps you exactly where you are. 1 takes you backward into patterns that nearly broke you before. And 1 sets you free in a way you have never experienced. I have spent this entire time showing you what that third path looks like. I have shown you the obstacles on it, the fears guarding it, the sacrifices it requires. And now the only question that remains is the same one I asked at the beginning. Will you choose wisely? Because this is not just about the next few days or the next few weeks. This is about the rest of your life. Every decision from this point forward will either move you closer to that liberation or further away from it. There is no neutral ground. There is no standing still. You are always choosing, even when you think you are not. Inaction is a choice. Silence is a choice. Staying comfortable is a choice. And each of those choices carries consequences that compound over time, until one day you look up and realize you are either exactly where you want to be or miles away from it with no clear path back. Scorpio, you have the depth, the strength, the resilience, and the raw transformative power to claim the life that is waiting for you. You have always had it. You just needed someone to remind you. Consider this your reminder. Consider this the moment you stopped making excuses and started making moves. Consider this the day you chose liberation over limitation, truth over comfort, and yourself over everything that has been holding you back. You have 2 options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.